Hi, welcome to Professor Kev Show. We got a new segment this time. This is my friend Bob, who's calling it Ask Bob. Bob's going to share some career advice with us because that's something a lot of my students and job seekers ask me about. And as you know, I'm a big let's ask the expert. Let's not let Kev guess what he thinks about things. So, Bob, welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome. Thank you. Thank you
So
very much.
before I jump in, Bob, tell us a little about yourself and Mass Hire, a little career center.
So as you can see, I work at Mass Hire Lowell Career Center, and I lead webinars. I probably lead about 30 webinars a month and about 20 unique webinars. I also meet one-on-one with the clients here, which is really enjoyable for me. And in addition to that, I lead a job club. Um, so that is also very enjoyable to me. I think, one of the proudest things that I've done here is create the first LinkedIn program at Mass Hire Lowell Career Center. And as a result, I had to create webinars for it. So, that I think is one of my legacy accomplishments. But
I have to admit, Bob, when you tell me that, I kind of start chuckling because I'm a big video person, and that
yeah,
wasn't really the direction you wanted to go in when we first connected and stuff. And when
no.
you tell me you're running 30 a month, I'm just trying not to start cracking up but it shows you the importance of expanding your skills and
Yeah.
coming out of that comfort zone. So that's a perfect example of things that people should consider and stuff. So, all right,
Well,
now,
I think there's a difference between creating content with video and then just doing webinars. But yeah, I see them two being pretty similar.
yeah,
So as long as you know what you're talking about, then you're okay.
yeah, but I remember the first time, like, let's do a video. Like, what? That wasn't your thing. All right, I've had fun picking on you. So now let's talk a little bit. So, Bob, one of the reoccurring questions I see from students, job seekers is, hey, Kev, it says I need 3 years experience. I do have a degree, but I have 0 years experience. Should I even bother applying?
Well, I mean, like anything that depends. I would say that if they're in a field where it's a basic or major requirement, then, they should pretty much heed what is required for that job. But no, I mean, a lot of the job descriptions that employers put out there are wish lists. And yeah, so they may want you to have 3 years experience, but they can get by, or they can hire someone who has the education, has some other related or transferable experience. So I wouldn't stop from applying. I definitely wouldn't stop from applying. Just make sure that you can click off most of the boxes. I mean, that's what Kevin and I were talking about earlier. We were talking about being able to click off, the boxes that would make you a good employee. I mean, really, a lot of what employers want to see in a job description is teachable. It's something you can learn. What they want in the end is they want someone who's highly motivated, someone who's going to be a good team player. I mean, that's really important to employers. So, don't stop from, applying for a job if you don't have uh, every single requirement in the job description. But like I said, in some cases, if you must know Python or Java and you don't have that experience, then, that would be a tough sell. So.
The other thing I'm seeing now, Bob, students, job seekers, is gaps on resumes.
Yeah.
So some of my students, it's taking them maybe over a year to find a job in their field. And they're like, Kev, what do I say? I've been working a job just to pay my bills, but it's not really applicable, to what I want to do in my career. Do
Well,
you focus on
yeah.
interchangeable skills?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a tough economy, and I think any good employer will realize that job seekers are going to have gaps. It could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, 9 months, it could be a year. And, as long as you've been doing something where you've been paying the bills, let's say that you've been working in a place where you're exercising great customer service, that all counts. Other transferable skills, problem solving, obviously counts, analyzing, teaching. I mean, that's all important. As long as you can spin it in a way where it really seems appealing to the employer, then you should have no problem. But like I said, employers realize this has been a tough economy, and there are going to be people who have gaps up to a year, right? But as long as you haven't been just sitting home, as long as you've been working in some capacity where you can show transferable skills, then that's going to really lend well to you getting a job. I have to say that some industries, occupations, you can get by with the transferable skills to make you, possibly do a complete switch in careers. Whereas others, a little more difficult. Like I mentioned earlier, you need to know the software languages, hardware knowledge, and so forth. But, you know, it's understandable. It's understandable. Yeah, it's a tough
So,
economy.
Bob, my last question is around resumes.
Hmm.
As a professor, students, job seekers email me, hey, can you take a peek at my resume? No, that is not my area of expertise. There's people like you at the Mass Higher Little Career Centers. If you're a student, go to your university's career center. These are the
Mhm.
people that see it every day. We were joking before the show how, things have changed over, well, I'm old. Let's leave you out. I'm old. I'm 60. I remember 40 years ago what a resume looked like versus what it
Mhm.
looks like today. It's a lot different. So
Yeah.
just because you know someone who has experience doesn't mean that their experience is going to relate to what employers are looking for today. So go
No.
to the pros.
I absolutely. But keep in mind that if you show your resume to 10 people, you're going to get 10 different answers.
Yes.
What's most important is that your resume really shows some value in what you can deliver to employers. And, we can help you with that. We can help you tell you, okay, so, maybe you have great, outstanding duties, but there is always a result to your duties. There's always and so what? And that's where you really need to fill in the gaps there. Um, you know, Go to people you trust. And I would say your career services where you went to school or are going to school, they can do a fine job in helping you with your resume. Certainly us, at Mass Higher Lowell Career Center, I mean, that's what we do. I'm a certified professional resume writer, so I know a little bit about resumes, and I'm be happy to, have you in my webinars. And if you want to meet one-on-one, then we can do that. But yeah, just ask the right people.
I
I
agree.
think you'd get a sense of who the right people
Yeah.
are.
But sometimes I talk to someone and they're like, I've been looking for a while and not
Mhm.
getting even interviews. And my first thought is, okay, list out your resume. Maybe there's something on there that, is that you're missing or you want to reword it. Because I remember when I was applying to work at the university, like, hey, send us your resume. I didn't have one, Bob.
Right.
And so, of course, I go out and I Google it, how to make a resume. And I'm like, oh no, this is way too important for me to try to figure it out when I
Mhm.
have resources I can go to who, can help me. So again, emphasize on go to the pros, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to go back to having the gap in your work history, and also, not having all of the pieces that the job description asks for. Networking is a huge component of the job search. And so, if you're having trouble with your resume, have someone who knows what they're talking about look at your resume. But you know what? In the end, is networking is going to probably be the magic potion to your job search. So don't disregard networking. I mean, Kevin here, he is a pro at networking. He can give you excellent advice about that. And he doesn't think so, but he can also give you advice about, your resume. But a resume is for some people it's a tricky thing to write. I've seen people who can write white pages, who can write novels even, and they have a hard time with their resume. It's not
Yep.
rocket science, but
It is, because you're trying to come across strong, but you really go, oh my God, it's too big,
mm,
like you said, you dismiss some of your skills, like, well, but Bob, doesn't everyone have customer service skills? Surprisingly, no.
no,
Surprisingly, no. So, Bob, if
exactly.
people want to learn more about Mass High Low Career Center, what's the best way to reach out to you if they need help?
So they should first of all go to our website, masshirelowellcc.com. And on our website, under events, we have the webinars, the webinar calendar. And so just select a webinar that you'd like to attend. It could be building your resume, a knockout resume. I mean, we have so many resume webinars which I've created, but just choose the ones that you want to attend. And if you really want to meet with a career advisor here, then we also have that availability on our website. So please, if you are looking for work, if you've been out for more than a year, you're always welcome. You're always welcome. So please, reach out to us and ask to meet with a career advisor. I love meeting with people of all ages, of all abilities. So maybe you'll end up with me.
So, Bob, just the last thing. I like your advice to meet with a person. It's
Mhm.
great to the webinars are super helpful, but just sitting with someone and hearing, you're like, hey, because to me, it starts to get in your head. I've been unemployed for 6 months, 9 months. So to meet with someone like you is like, that's happening a lot right now. It's not just you, Kev. I think that has a lot of value, just being able to have someone you can open up to about the search who's experienced that and sees what everyone else is doing. I just think that's crucial step, that I would recommend on top of the webinar. So, Bob, I really do appreciate you making time and always being my friend.
Thank you for having me,
Yeah,
Kevin.
we'll see you
Thank
soon,
you.
bud. Bye now.
Okay, take care.